She was not born into influence. She had no title, no protection, no promise of a future. Yet the destiny of an entire people would one day rest on her courage. Her name was Esther. Long before Esther wore a crown, she lived quietly as a foreigner in a powerful empire. She was a Jewish orphan, raised by her older cousin Mordecai in the city of Susa, the heart of Persian rule. At that time, the empire was governed by King Xerxes, a ruler whose authority stretched across vast lands, from the east to the far south. His word shaped nations. His decisions changed lives. To display his greatness, King Xerxes organized an enormous celebration. For months, officials, generals, and nobles gathered in splendor. Golden halls shimmered, wine flowed without limit. When the celebration ended, the king opened the palace gardens for a final feast, welcoming the people of the capital. But pride often invites its own downfall. On the final day, the king ordered Queen Vashti to appear before the guests so they could admire her beauty. It was a command driven not by honor, but by arrogance. Vashti refused. Her refusal shocked the court. The king, embarrassed and furious, turned to his advisors. They warned that such defiance could weaken authority across the empire. A decree was written. Vashti was removed from the throne. The crown was taken. The palace grew quiet, but while humans focused on power and pride, something unseen was beginning to move. As Chimi passed, the king's anger faded and loneliness followed. His advisors proposed a new plan. Gather young women from every province and allow the king to choose a new queen. Messengers spread throughout the empire. Among those brought to the palace was Esther. Before she left, Mordecai gave her careful instructions. Do not reveal your identity or your people. Inside the palace, Esther did not demand attention. She walked with humility. She spoke with wisdom, and she gained favor with those entrusted to care for her. After months of preparation, Esther was brought before the king. There was no spectacle, no grand speech. Yet when King Xerxes saw her, he chose her above all others. The royal crown was placed upon her head. Esther had become queen, but her greatest test was still ahead. No one knew her true identity. No one suspected her purpose. The crown brought honor, but it would soon demand courage. Because Esther had not been chosen by chance. She had been positioned for a moment yet to come. Across the empire, grief filled the air. Homes fell silent. Hope seemed to disappear overnight. Mordecai stood in the streets, dressed in sackcloth, crying out not just for himself, but for an entire people marked for destruction. Inside the palace, Esther remained unaware of how close danger now stood. She wore a crown, yet she lived behind walls of comfort and silence. But that silence would not last. Soon, Esther would learn the truth, and when she did, she would face a choice that would define her life and the fate of her people. Was the crown meant to shield her, or was it given so she could stand and speak? In the next episode, Esther must decide whether to remain hidden or risk everything.